Hello everyone, this is James Nussbaumer, and today I want to talk to you about how to take passionate action and uncover your true talent. Do you really want to live outside of your passion and live a life of regret? No, you don't. And you will find why you don't, because you know really why you don't, in my book, The Master of Everything, A Story of Mankind in the World of Illusion that we call life. It is an inspirational manifesto to a better life. The Master of Everything. When you read it and you find out where I've actually, how the book was manifested, you may appreciate it. But where we want to go on, as I'm listening to some jazz music tonight, I have it in the background, which in addition to, in addition to classical music, jazz music is probably right up there now that I'm getting older. Of course, no offense to my favorite rocker, Billy Joel, but even though he's playing some jazz tunes now, I hear. But anyways, because that is his passion, and he's living a life of no regrets, and neither do you want to, and that's what this is about. Because we are Grandeur. Grandeur. Grandeur is about pure truth. It means when you speak to someone on a personal level, that you are from your heart, totally. It means acting out of generosity rather than judgment. And sadly, judgment seems to be, it seems to be the way of the world, and seems to have been that way for generations upon generations. We seem to be easy to judge people. Truth does not get suspicious, nor does it become vicious or judgmental. Truth, being what it is, cannot vacillate, which is what judgment does, vacillating back and forth. We may say some good things about people, then some bad things. Hey, well, on the other side, or the flip side of that coin, how we do things, it's judgment. But that's the human nature. That's the condition that we're in, and that's okay as long as we understand that. And that's the point I'm trying to make here. But I also want you to understand is, really think about how can oneness, true oneness, which is wholeness, vacillate between something other than being at one. Because what is one cannot vacillate. It is what it is. There's no conflict. It's very easy for us to distinguish grandeur from grandiosity, because the love of grandeur is returned, but the pride of pompous and grandiose attitudes is not. This is how you can learn to make decisions from your real, natural self. The Holy Spirit, which I call in my book, The Master of Everything. The Holy Spirit is not some white dove outside of us. No, it's not. He, and forgive me for my masculine overtone when I say he, speaking of the Holy Spirit, in other words, the Spirit of God, he, masculine overtone, okay? And what I'm trying to say, in other words, because that just seems the way we were brought up and the way I was raised, and that's okay. But, but what I mean, he or she, if you want to call God she, there's nothing wrong with that, or the Holy Spirit she. But the Holy Spirit, let me go back to what I was saying, is not something outside of you. It is the natural you. It's the Spirit of God. So he or she is the divine real you. Okay, let's consider a clear night when you are enjoying the stars and a full harvest moon in a calm sky, that big, huge, colorful moon, huge moon in the sky, in all its splendor. Do you cover your eyes to shield it from the splendor? Of course you don't. You can accept the beauty for what it is, because that's what you do, and you want to. But since the beauty of the star-filled sky is merely your separated mind projecting an image while you dream of your human condition, the starry sky itself cannot possibly be the grandeur that you sense. The grandeur is within the splendor of your real mind, which reflects its image of the night sky. That's in more detail in my book, The Master of Everything. But the grandeur within you, the grandeur is within the splendor itself that you are. Think about that, which reflects its image on the night sky. So the splendor, the grandeur that you are, which is that splendor, reflects in that sky as that beautiful harvest moon. You're actually reflecting yourself when you see that beautiful moon. Does that make sense? It might not now, because you get too much grandiosity and pompous ego pulling at you, saying, "Oh, what's he talking about?" But hey, let me explain a little further. Your dream-filled mind may very well see the stars and the moon, but the real unseparated you that has no ego beholds the grandeur that the dream portrays. In other words, it's a sweet dream, something you sweetly are dreaming about. Anyone who dreams of love will be drawn to grandeur, which has no need to hold pride. Only love and good can result from grandeur, because if there is no love, there can be no good. And let me explain this by a story of the Wizard of Oz. We see this represented in that movie, The Wizard of Oz, that we all love symbolically, where Dorothy could not have ever awakened from the dream of Oz if her good and loving, wholehearted home in Kansas were unreal. How could she, if Kansas was unreal, how could Dorothy ever awaken from the dream of Oz? She couldn't have, okay? The Holy Spirit will only recognize what is real, which is our God-given grandeur, and it is an extension of God, the Spirit that you are. He gave us this real value. We didn't proclaim it or establish it falsely like the charlatan Wizard of Oz did, from behind the curtain. No, our grandeur needs no defense, nor does it need to hide behind a curtain. Is it arrogant to recognize and radiate our grandeur? You might be thinking, you may feel that there's some kind of arrogance in this kind of attitude. No way. But the ego thinks it is. The ego in us thinks that we're arrogant when we think that we are the Spirit of God, that we are as one with God. The ego in us wants to say, that's an arrogant thought. But our grandeur is what it is what we are, is what we are. We are part of Him. Him, capital H, I am, or capital S-H-E if you'd like. To accept ourselves as God created us, we cannot be arrogant. Rather, it is the denial of arrogance. In other words, if we don't accept ourselves as being at one with God, then we are being arrogant. If we want to think that God is somewhere outside of us and not within us, not part of us, that's arrogance right there. That's the ego ruling us. But to accept the ego really is being arrogant, like I'm trying to tell you. So, and it's really that simple, everyone. If we just accept the ego as some kind of arrogant thought that wants to make things up on its own because it wants to see things outside because it can't go inside, the only thing it can believe in is outside. It's just an arrogant thought, because it means that you believe yourself to be something other than wholeness. The ego is about conflict. So the ego cannot stand when we're whole. When we're feeling whole and wholehearted with someone, it doesn't like that. And wholeheartedness is God. So when you are feeling whole and wholesome, you're at one with God. Why are you afraid to be at one with Him, which is who you are? Or she, we could say, like I just mentioned a little bit ago. Grandiosity is no match for who we truly are. It really isn't. Could it just be your grandiose side is keeping you from taking action, from learning how to be passionate about taking action, about what it is that you passionately want to do in life by uncovering your true talent? Hey everyone, if you want to know more check out my book, The Master of Everything, A Story of Mankind, the story of mankind in the world of illusion we call life. I had written this book from the worstest of conditions you could ever imagine, where I spent 8 years in prison, which is detailed in the book. But anyways, check out my website, jamesnussbaumer.com. It's newly established, so bear with me, but there's a section on there called my Real Abundance page that will take you to, click on there and it will take you to a link that will show you how to maybe take some action on some things that you might want to get involved in that will turn things around for you. In either event, I want to tell you that I am privileged to be able to talk to you tonight this way through video, because I think this is amazing, the way modern technology has come about. Good night, everyone, and God bless.